It's 8 o'clock. Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, yes, retired Captain Aliyu joins us now to continue our focus on the unfortunate incident in Nyanya. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, here we are again looking at this matter, and who knows for how long and what else we might be talking about, because even though people will expect to look at, okay, look, how much progress have we made? But can that be the case in this circumstance? Because this very, very unfortunate incident indeed. And looking at this one, and what can one say? Because yes, Nyanya, so many agencies out there who should have done something. Are we back to the same old thing, not doing the things that we ought to do to prevent this?
Well, let me first of all condole Nigeria for this loss. It's sad. Having said that, I think we are running a cycle here. Let me do a post-mortem of Abuja security-wise in the last 30 days. About 3 weeks ago, somebody found it right to quarter terrorists within the environment of the presidency. That was a dangerous thing to do. It was too close for comfort. Probably that officer should be debriefed. Guantanamo Base is nowhere near the White House. You cannot keep terrorists within the confines or immediate environment of the seat of power. That was a no-no. That has passed. Barely 3 weeks later, Abuja again, Nyanya. So if we were to do a security survey of the security situation in Abuja in the last 1 month, it's waning considerably. We now come to the park. What happened in Nyanya for me was shocking. It really took me by surprise. I thought we've gone past that. We saw something similar to that happen in Kano last year. There was a bomb in a car park somewhere in Kano. And I think if we had learned from that, no matter how little what we learned may have been, we should have replicated that in all major car parks across the country. So the question now is, are we going to learn from this one, or are we going to just cry, bury the dead, and wait for the next accident to happen?
Because, I mean, we've got the DMI, NIA, NSA, DSS, and look, it could go on.
Yes.
Now, if one of these agencies is doing something and the others are not living up to expectation, it won't achieve much. But how do we get to see them? Do we look back and see, first of all, do we have too many of these agencies? What are they supposed to be doing? Who is doing what? What kind of effect? What are they bringing to the table about this? So remember the time, once upon a time, everybody cried out about the position of the NSA. Now we've got a new NSA. This is still going on. So what is happening?
Yeah, Chamberlain, you must understand something. When you have everybody doing one thing, that one thing becomes nobody's job. Because everybody will believe somebody will do it. And because everybody believes somebody will do it, nobody does it. That is one. Two, when you have people in positions, not because they know what to do, but because they know someone, you're going to end up with a department where everybody knows everybody, but nobody knows anything. So the indicators on ground are not matching the statements we are getting. The results on ground are not matching the investments financially. And my take as an observer, dispassionately now, is that people are in places in this country in the last 20 to 30 years, not based on meritocracy, but because they know someone. Now, it's okay for you to put people you know in position, that's okay. But ensure they know their onions. I sit down from my small corner and I listen to security chiefs speak, and I just know this guy is not on his page. He's not on his game. Nobody is a repository of knowledge. Nobody is perfect. But then you can build a team. You don't have to be a footballer to build the best team. I mean, Wenger doesn't play ball better than myself, but I respect him. You got to build a strong team. If this guy cannot take us there, don't put him there. Because ultimately, the price to pay is what we saw in Nyanya, in Kano, in Yobe, and the other states in the last 3 days. In the last 3 days, we've seen like 400 people lose their lives because somebody somewhere is not on his game. Somebody is meddling with our lives.
This is war.
Exactly. We have to get serious about who does what and how he does it.
Break it down for us, because I'm trying to link it with what Chris Mokalo did say when he talks about, having specific duties for some agencies. Are we talking about spelling it out? Because the way Chamberlain read them out, I thought that everyone has his own area of watch.
Yes, on paper, policy-wise, it could have been spelled out. But what I know, and I stand to be corrected, is in each department, in each parastatal, there are no measures of success. There are no key performance indicators. There are no milestones. If you come to me and I have to give you 100 million, you have to tell me what you want to do with the 100 million. And you have to tell me how you want to do it. You see, it's one thing for us all to know what we want to do with 100 million, but do you know how to do it? What I'm trying to say is if a security officer is actually going to be tasked to do something, we should be able to say for 100 million, what are we getting? Are we going to see 6 months, no attacks, 1 day, no attacks? And even then, how do you intend to do it? What's your plan? On our side of the divide, business people, we call it a business plan.
Pardon me, let me jump in.
Yes.
While you continue on that, can they actually do all of this without a sufficient or an adequate database in this country?
Database, Chamberlain, is all around us. I have a colleague, those days when I used to be with the intelligence community proper, I had a colleague who worked for the intelligence community of another country. And one day we were just having drinks and chatting, and he said all the intelligence they require to have in Nigeria is in the pages of any newspaper that is published in this country.
Oh dear.
Yeah. They are about indicators. You see, intelligence is not as we see it in James Bond's film and all those things. Intelligence is simply the ability to have insight. And you have insight when you have imagination, when you are innovative, and a measure of metacognition.
Shed some more light on that part. Everything is on the pages of newspapers. It means that journalists have a big role here.
Yes, indeed. Journalists, for one, let's go to journalists. And that's one of the reasons why I'm very much, inclined to security journalism. Journalists are not inducted. Our security agencies don't see journalists as partners in progress. It's more of a Tom and Jerry approach. I'm looking to see that day when journalists will be inducted, when journalists will actually attend courses and be able to see from the perspective of the security agencies, because all of them use information. So having said that, what I'm trying to put through to you is this. Intelligence is simply what you glean off that which you've seen. Simply put, there is nothing hidden under the sun. Okay? Our mothers didn't go to school. Our aged mothers, not all of them were opportune to go to school where I come from. But they look at a woman right now and tell you how far gone into pregnancy she is, because they know the indicators. The same should apply to any security chief. You should be able to sit in a park.
That's your third eye, your sixth sense.
Exactly, your sixth sense, what people call the pineal gland or what have you, all those things, the subconscious. If you've been in there long enough, you begin to have insights. I do it. I can sit in a park and tell you who the pickpocket is.
Without monitoring through the
just
CCTV?
in my car, just looking, I know the pickpockets.
Because they're creatures of habit, you say?
Yes, creatures of habit. They don't go after people with one luggage. When they see you with 3 boxes and 2 children, they rush you. Everybody pretends they want you to enter their vehicle. So your attention is divided between your luggage, your children, and them, and they get your bag.
Now, just quickly, one of the things I seem to be getting from this is also, a sense of disillusionment with our security agencies. It would seem that we're spending so much money and we're getting very little results. And one of the reasons why people would say this happens is that we can hardly question, or ask for transparency in terms of how, funds are appropriated or spent within security agencies. Do you think that we can actually begin to
yes, we can.
remove a bit of that opacity, or is it really impossible to be transparent with funds in security agencies?
It's not impossible, Maupe. We may not be able to itemize how every kobo was spent, but we can track performance. If I was given XYZ Naira to do ABC much, and I submitted a road plan of what I intended to achieve, I think if 20% of that fund has been sunk, I should have achieved AB extent of my roadmap. So I can't tell them I've spent 80% of the fund and I've not even done 20% of what I wanted to do. We should be able to begin to hold people to account based on their briefs. It's not just about coming, the panic factor is there. Nyanya happened yesterday. The commander-in-chief, I empathize with him. He's under pressure. His people are dying. He will do anything to solve the problem. And you just come in and say, we need this much. He trusts you. That's why you were there anyway. He says, go ahead, take it. I want results. And you will give me results. If we put money into a particular project and we don't get result, consider that money sunk cost. So if we track your performance, and from you start in the morning, you were to end at midnight, and by noon you are nowhere like near 50%, then we should be looking for someone else to come and drive that process successfully. We don't wait for all the finances to be sunk before we realize that, hey, this guy is not just on his game.